What's up, Snorted Crew? It's yours truly, Snorted Dude. Right now, we're about to get into that. How the death of his main op ruined Yungeen Ace's rap career. Let's see what they talking about in this one. Original link to this be down in the description. Also, leave me a like on the video. Yo.
We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it.
When I put on my back, when I rose up to the city, and I put the city on my back, ain't nowhere to be found, man. What you talking about? Ain't putting no work, man. You be tricked, man.
For years, Yungeen Ace and Fulio basically turned their Jacksonville beef into a business, turning real street drama and disrespect into streams and clout. But when Fulio got killed in Tampa in June 2024, it looked like Ace came out on top, only for things to flip the other way.
Don't talk about me. Don't get the man. When I say no more, it ain't no more. It ain't no more.
His career low-key started slipping because no Fulio meant no viral diss songs and no easy money rolling in. And to make things even crazier, people started whispering that Ace might have played a role in Fulio's death. Let's get into it. The war that built them. Now, long before Fulio's death, both he and Yungeen Ace were actually doing pretty solid in their careers. Ace had been dropping music since 2014, but it wasn't until around 2018 that people really started paying attention. Songs like raw, emotional edge that made people gravitate toward him. His pain was real, his stories were heavy, and the internet connected with it fast. Fulio's come-up started a little earlier. Around 2015, he began catching eyes with Coming Up, which helped him start booking shows and making real money off his music. He branded himself heavy with his crew, KTA, and over the next few years, he became one of the most talked about young artists in Florida. The energy, the street ties, the storytelling, it all hit at the right time. But the real moment their careers exploded was when the beef between them kicked off around 2017. That's when the Jacksonville rap scene basically turned into a battleground, and both rappers profited from the chaos. Streams went up, attention went up, the disrespect went up. Everything escalated. Then 2021 hit, and that's when things went from local beef to full-on viral moment. Out of nowhere, social media got flooded with reactions to one song, Who I Smoke, by Yungeen Ace and his crew. They flipped Vanessa Carlton's soft piano hit 1,000 Miles into one of the most disrespectful diss tracks ever recorded. The video looked wild, Ace and his boys standing on this fancy golf course, smoking cigars, dancing around, all while the lyrics straight up celebrated the deaths of people from Fulio's side of Jacksonville.
Oh, I smoke, baby.
They weren't talking in metaphors. They were mentioning real names, real people who had died, right there on the bright, cheery beat everybody recognized. They even mentioned Fulio's younger brother. The shock factor was insane. The internet ate it up. Within a month, the video had 16 million views, and reaction channels, TikTok creators, and influencers were all talking about it non-stop. It was disrespectful, catchy, and chaotic. Basically, the perfect recipe for virality. Of course, Fulio wasn't just going to sit there and let that slide. If Ace went bold, Fulio was ready to go even bolder. He took Fantasia's When I See You, slowed it down, flipped it into a haunting remix, and loaded it with direct shots at Ace. But the real hit came from the visuals. In the video, Fulio stood beside a massive printed poster of two of Ace's close friends and Ace's blood brother, all of whom had been killed in a shooting Ace survived. To understand how heavy that was,
I ain't gonna lie, that one did numbers. That one did numbers.
You gotta go back to what happened. It was a regular Tuesday in June 2018. Ace, his brother, and two of his friends were heading to Wasabi, a Japanese steakhouse, to celebrate one of the guys turning 18.
Get us to the shit,
Everyone
man.
was vibing, taking photos, posting on Instagram, just enjoying the night. But what they didn't know was that somebody was watching. Ace's Instagram story, showing him outside the restaurant and recording his friends inside, gave away their exact location. Their rivals saw it.
Chilling after that, we chilling in the parking lot, laughing, playing. They fighting. Just like, we slipping, for real, for real. We ain't even on point because we so caught up in the moment.
They waited outside, following Ace and his crew as they left the restaurant and drove onto the highway. When the car stopped at a red light, that's when everything went left. Shooters pulled up and unloaded bullets into the passenger side of Ace's vehicle. It was a brutal trap, quick, targeted, and devastating. Ace's two best friends and his brother were all killed on the spot. Ace was hit multiple times and left fighting for his life.
Police say the men were all riding together in this car on Town Center Parkway when people in another car that pulled up beside them started shooting at them. Kenyatta Bullard, who goes by the nickname Ace, was the only person in the car who survived the attack.
News spread fast across Jacksonville. Fulio heard the rumors before they even hit the internet, and at first he thought Ace had died too. But Ace pulled through. He survived, but nothing about his life was the same. He left that hospital without three of his closest people he had in the world, carrying trauma that would follow him into his music and his career forever. Fulio's death. So once Fulio dropped "When I See You," it was pretty much stamped that there was no turning back for either side. The disrespect had gone way too far. The losses were piling up and the beef had already cost lives on both ends. And eventually the same cycle that boosted both rappers' careers would come right back around and take Fulio himself. June 2024 rolled around and Fulio had just turned 26. Like anyone celebrating a birthday, he wanted to have a good time. He set up a pool party and, of course, posted the location on Instagram so his supporters could pull up. But as the day went on, things weren't going smoothly. From his own Instagram stories, it looked like the event had to be moved. At one point, Fulio said the police kicked him out of the original spot, so he switched the celebration to a Holiday Inn. That decision ended up being the turning point. Later that night, Fulio continued posting birthday videos, completely unaware that everything was about to go left. Hours after the location switch, around 4 a.m., Fulio's girlfriend suddenly posted a gut-wrenching message on X. "Y'all took my boyfriend away from me. I hate y'all and I won't be the only one crying." That was the first sign that something terrible had happened. Not long after her message, a shaky early morning video from the Holiday Inn parking lot started circulating on social media. Police lights were flashing and rumors were spreading fast. It was eventually confirmed that around 4:30 a.m.
This the part of the whole Fulio situation that been blowing me. How they get that footage? This shit look like a little movie, I ain't gonna lie. Like a little Tubi movie or something. Yeah. Niggas keep creeping around the corner. Hey, duck down this. Hey. How they get that footage?
In Tampa, shots were fired in that hotel parking lot. Fulio and 3 other people were hit. Fulio didn't make it. The rapper, who had spent years locked in one of the most publicized beefs in modern rap, was gunned down on his own birthday, 26 years old.
A birthday celebration that took a turn for the worst. Now cars filled with bullet holes are at the center of an investigation to find out why famous rapper Fulio, who just turned 26, was shot dead early this morning.
But what made everything even messier was what happened immediately after. Hours after news broke that Fulio had been killed, a brand new Yungeen Ace record dropped. The timing alone had the whole internet raising eyebrows. The song was called "Do It," and the lyrics didn't help calm anything down. Ace rapped, "They mad at me that ninja died, that's not my problem. I'm getting rich off the dead like that's my problem." People were stunned. Some thought he recorded it months ago. Others thought the release was intentional, but whatever the case, the internet was on fire. The beef was already dark, but made things feel even darker. Then 5 days later, Ace followed up with a full video titled "Ready to Die." That one went straight to the top of YouTube's trending page and racked up millions of views within a day. Fans, critics, bloggers, everybody started breaking down the symbolism and subliminals in the video. There was a bottle with a name that sounded suspiciously close to Fulio's. There were lines in the song that matched the exact details of the Tampa shooting. Early morning phone calls, 1 person dead, 3 others hit. Even the tone of the video felt like it was referencing Fulio's death without saying his name directly. The collapse. After Fulio's death, Yungeen Ace was riding the wave. Views were up, money was coming in, people were talking about him non-stop. It looked like he was about to level up off the tragedy. But what he didn't see coming was how fast that momentum would flip on him, because once the shock wore off, Ace's numbers started dipping, and they dipped hard. Through the second half of 2024, his uploads were struggling to even crack 1 million views. Some barely scraped a couple 100,000. For a YouTube channel with around 1.8 million subscribers and hundreds of millions of past views, those numbers felt like the digital version of a heartbeat monitor flatlining. Growth slowed.
He overdoing it. I ain't gonna lie. As a nigga that follow Ace's career, I'm gonna speak on from my perspective of my career. It's always gonna be peaks and valleys in this internet stuff. I mean, if you got the juice on the internet, I mean, I'm talking about the juice, where everything you post go crazy, then by all means. But not everybody on the internet got that juice. I'm just gonna keep it hot, bro. Not everybody got that juice, bro. Now, going back to Yungeen Ace, he's seeing peaks and valleys, bro. Peaks and valleys, the highs and lows. But the nigga views ain't dropped crazy now. He just showed it. He still got videos that this latest video hit 2 million. 2 million. The way he talking and the way he titled this video make it seem like Ace is nowhere to be found right about now, which is crazy.
The charts froze and revenue trackers reflected the same stall. The peak hit fast and disappeared even faster. So what happened? Why did Ace's momentum just fall apart? First off, the conflict was the content. Almost every major moment in Ace's career was tied to the beef. The viral record calling out names, the back and forth songs, the message tracks, the subliminals. The tension gave his music stakes. Casual listeners kept tuning in because they wanted to see the next chapter of the story. But once Fulio died, the entire storyline vanished. No rival meant no sparks. No sparks meant no hype. And the regular drill records, even when they were polished, couldn't recreate that "you gotta hear this right now" feeling his older tracks carried. Then there's the moral recoil. Dissing names in a song is one thing. Fans have seen that 1,000 times in rap. But celebrating a fresh death in real time? A lot of people weren't rocking with that. Even supporters who tolerated disrespect on wax drew the line at content that felt like it was dancing on someone's grave. Comment sections shifted overnight. What used to be fire track turned into "this went too far," and once fans start pulling back, algorithms pull back too. The outrage spike brought huge attention, but outrage burns real quick, and when it burned out, the recommendation engines stopped pushing his content. Also, there was no replacement villain. The Jacksonville story always had two main characters, Ace and Fulio. Remove one, and the whole narrative loses its punch. Other rappers in different cities survive beef eras by switching up their style, collaborating with fresh artists, or tapping into new topics. Ace didn't do that. For years, he trained his audience to expect one type of record, a record fueled by the rivalry. So once that rival was gone, anything else he dropped felt either too small or too hollow. And when he tried doing that same formula without Fulio on the other side of it, it simply didn't hit the same. But the biggest reason for the career slump, the one that really put a cloud over Ace's name, was the rumor mill. Because not long after Fulio was killed, Ace's name got dragged into the conversation online. Here's what actually happened. Within a few weeks, 5 suspects with Jacksonville ties were reported as arrested or wanted in connection with the murder. Court documents and police statements suggested a collaboration between ATK and the 1200 gang to target Fulio that night. Among those listed was a documented ATK member. The others included 2 alleged 1200 members who were believed to have been among the shooters, plus a young woman who traveled with one suspect and ended up convicted of a lesser charge in 2025.
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 work together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud in Jacksonville.
The official story investigators laid out painted a chilling picture. 2 vehicles followed Fulio across multiple locations, including a club appearance, with suspects allegedly communicating through phone calls. The shooters used rifles and a handgun with an extended magazine. One gunman alone reportedly fired more than 30 rounds. And somewhere in the middle of all that online speculation, Yungeen Ace's name started floating around too.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring that, always watching them. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it.
Now, the authorities never named Ace as a suspect. They didn't accuse him of anything. They didn't tie him to the crime directly, but the internet doesn't follow courtroom rules. People saw that a documented ATK member was among the arrests. They remember the years of public beef. They remember the timing of the songs Ace dropped right after Fulio's death. And from that mix, they built their own narrative. Yungeen Ace's career declined. Now, with all the chaos surrounding Fulio's death and the fallout that followed, people are saying Yungeen Ace may not be out of the woods yet. The scrutiny didn't just stop with online speculation. Rumors persist that law enforcement still has their sights on him. And on top of that, it's a known fact that some ATK members have snitched on him in the past. If they were to do it again, it could potentially open the door to a major RICO case, putting Ace in serious legal jeopardy, even facing life behind bars if investigators dig deep enough. By the end of 2024, the pressure was clearly getting to him. On December 23rd, Ace went live on Instagram in what could only be described as an emotional, raw venting session. He wasn't holding anything back. In front of thousands of live viewers, he officially declared the end of ATK, airing out months or even years of frustration about his crew.
Don't talk about me. Don't get the man. When I say no more ATK, ain't no more. It ain't no more.
Every word he said carried the weight of someone who had been let down too many times.
Hey, look, I still stand on my stance. Although they've been holding their word on the no more ATK stuff, I feel like it was a play, you know? I feel like it was a play, like we disbanding the gang or whatever the case may be. The clean face. The clean face.
And he wasn't about to sugarcoat it. Ace directed his frustration at people in his circle who he felt disappeared when it mattered most. He called out his crew for failing to step up financially and emotionally, particularly during critical moments like funerals or when the community needed help after someone was lost. He was talking about loyalty, support, and showing up when it counts. Social media, he argued, only made things worse. The culture of clout chasing, of public appearances and likes over genuine loyalty had eroded trust and created a toxic environment. To Ace, it felt like this crew was more concerned with how they looked online than how they actually handled business or supported the people around them in real life.
When I put on my back, when I rose up to the city, and I put the city on my back, ain't nowhere to be found, man. What you talking about? Ain't putting no work. You need to be tripping, man.
Of course, not everyone agreed with Ace's airing of grievances. Shortly after the live stream, one of ATK's members, YBZ, fired back on Instagram's story. He didn't sugarcoat his response either. He made it very clear that he didn't owe anyone an explanation for how he handled his own situations. "I don't give a F what no mother F has to say," he wrote. "Who sent something for my whole Fed bid? Who put something up for my 2 federal trial lawyers? I stood in the paint and fought with the feds. I don't give a F if I lost." YBZ's message hit hard. He reminded everyone that he had endured his own struggles, losing brothers to the streets and prison, yet never turned his back on anyone. He continued, "To be brought up because I ain't do it for a reward or to be praised." To make his point even more personal, he shared pictures of himself with his daughter from his time in prison, showing that in his lowest moments, the only person who stood by him was family. In a way, YBZ's response countered Ace's claims that no one was stepping up, showing that loyalty and sacrifice aren't always broadcasted or publicized. Meanwhile, ATK Kesey, one of the more recognizable faces in the crew, didn't directly call out Ace, but he posted a cryptic message on his own Instagram story that many fans interpreted as a subtle response. "They don't care about your sacrifices, only care about what you can do for them," he wrote. Social media speculation ran wild. Many believed Kesey was indirectly referring to Ace's accusations, hinting that he had also made significant contributions and sacrifices for ATK that had gone unacknowledged. Ace's decision to keep his critiques broad and avoid naming specific people left a lot of room for interpretation. Fans, followers, and casual observers began reading between the lines, speculating about exactly who his criticisms were aimed at. That ambiguity fueled even more conversation and tension around the crew.
Hold on, gang. You about lost me. Ambiguity. The quality of being open to more than one interpretation. 14 on ACT, I'm just as lost.
But amid all the personal drama and emotional venting, some people started thinking strategically. Many are speculating that Ace's public breakdown and declaration of ATK's end might not just be about airing grievances, it could also be a calculated move. The timing is suspicious, with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office repeatedly confirming that they had been monitoring Ace and his crew. Some believe this could be his attempt to distance himself from ATK and minimize potential legal exposure. Cutting ties publicly could be a way to try and avoid being implicated if authorities decide to pursue a major RICO case, especially given the past rumors about members snitching. Combine the looming threat of law enforcement, the slow fade in his career, and the backlash from social media, and it paints a grim picture. The stream of content that once seemed endless now struggles to find traction. Without a rival like Fulio to drive the stakes, casual listeners aren't coming back for the same energy, and the online algorithms have a presence, his influence, everything is hitting a plateau.
75% of this video is pure cap. The other 25, he just got the facts right. The days, the times, that's all. I feel like the nigga career could still flourish. Buddy just had a good title, and he got me. He got me.